photography until I was about 16, 17. Um, so yeah, I'd be saying I've been doing it for 5, 6 years. Um, and so yeah, I started going to. There is a museum near my house called Font Hill. You guys can look it up, and it's a great place to actually just take pictures. It's not abandoned, but in the house behind the house is in the woods actually. The guy who it's a pottery place, so like they'd make massive amounts of handmade pottery, and my entire town, which is Doylestown, is covered in this pottery. Um, and so basically, this guy, he was kind of rich, and in around 1912, I believe, um, he made himself a huge house. So he made a house for his builders that were building his house, and that house was abandoned. So the house was covered in handmade pottery from him, and it's a beautiful place. Lots of quotes. It had graffiti on it. They actually made a committee to clean the place up. They got cameras there now. I mean, you can go to it. It's just like you can't vandalize it. I'm not really into vandalizing, but um, you know, that was where I began for sure. I'd bike there and I would stop there and take my friends there, and then I'd say later on I started going to this greenhouse, massive greenhouse in Jamison, um, and then I started hitting the spots, man, the malls, the hospitals, um, everything in
Yeah,
between.
no, I know. Once you do that first one and you really start getting into it, it definitely it takes hold. That's for sure. Um, I guess the channel's now about 2 years old, but I probably been doing this a little bit, 10, 15. Not to any extent like now, but I got started in the, as they call the heydays, before everything was
Big.
vandalized and destroyed and demoed and everything else.
Right. Unfortunately, I was not um, into it at that time. I mean, it still amazes me to watch the videos, especially of Byberry. That was one place I would have loved to hit. Um,
Yeah,
and Penhurst when you could go to that and all them. The hospitals mainly. That's what I'm into because I like to see that history of how you know humans treated humans, and I like to document that. You know.
well, what is actually going on at Penhurst now? Like, they're demoing some of it, but not all of it. I mean, I know it's become more of a tourist attraction anymore, but I heard
Yeah.
recently, I guess they were starting to tear some things down.
So you could pay like 100, I believe it's $180. Stay there overnight. Um, you can go through some of the buildings. I did know them at one point. I've never actually been to Penhurst because I mean at this point it's not much of an urbex. If I'm being completely honest, I mean they rearrange shit and like I know people that have broken into the real buildings, but I mean that place literally has their own fucking police force. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
Yeah.
that
Yeah, they're
place is
not messing around.
yeah, it's not like the other hospitals, and I mean you can see the YouTube videos. It's pretty neat, but most of it is naturally demoed, I guess you could say. You could definitely see some creepy ass shit though, but you got to be more into that ghost hunting stuff.
The
If you have your thermal cams and all that, you'll definitely see some stuff.
Yeah, no, that's never really been my thing. I mean, I don't judge anyone that's into that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more into it for the history side of things and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And just see what people have done in the past.
Right. Yeah.
So, I guess I just completely lost what I was going to say. So I guess what was one of your what was one of your favorite places that you've been to?
Norristown, for sure.
Yeah,
Norristown, I I'd like to claim I'm the king of Norristown, but I respect all others. I mean, I've broken into about 4 or 5 buildings there, and my fellow urbexers I'll give them the entrances if I know they're going to vandalize them, and I've seen a lot of stuff there. I've heard things there. Um, I've experienced a lot of things there, and that's by far my favorite place. Um,
yeah. I would love to get there. Although I guess from my understanding, time is running out there.
Unfortunately, time has not ran out. The only building I mean, I know my personal buildings are still. I mean, that place has underground places and stuff of that matter, but I mean, the main building's gone. Um, the other there's like 3 buildings that I haven't been there in a month. It's been a minute, but I'm heading up there tomorrow actually. And so yeah, I plan to hit the surgical building again, building 54 or 51. I always get them mixed up. But yeah, so basically that place had 58 buildings at a point there. It was a whole campus. It kind of was like it was all those other Kirkbride, Byberry, and you got Danvers and all them. This place was bigger, man. This place was like the fucking. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the place to be. Norristown's not a great place. Many abusive history at that place, but it definitely was a big campus, and I know people that were there, and I tried to actually make a documentary at a point. I got a bunch of contacts of people that worked there. I mean, I had the photographs I found inside places, and I have yet to do it. I mean, I'm going up to college soon. I've been extremely busy, but I mean, I still have the pictures, and anytime I want to feel like making that website, the pictures is all you need. You know? So,
Right.
but that surgical building, incredibly kept and respected. Um, I mean, there's lots of asbestos all in that place. I mean, I normally wear my respirator, um, but it's it's all right with security. I mean, I've gotten caught there. Um, it's not like or at least I haven't had the cops call to me. But yeah, it's a great place to start, at least.
So I tried to actually get into, and my memory's going to probably fade on me right now. Um, the original main hospital building, 17.
Yeah, so that was the acute administration building. Um, so that's basically where like all of your immediate subjects would come in, and yeah, the rest were long-term buildings. Now that building was deactivated in I believe '79. So it's been like 23 years or something since it's you know since that put and I mean the first time before anybody knew it was getting demoed, I was already in that place about to explore, and I was fucking pissed. I saw that big sign that the governor put up. It was, Project 1092, the demolition north. I was pissed, man. I was upset. I I created my own history there with my explorations and such.
But yeah, so I tried to get in there, I don't know, 10 years ago, give or take. And I had pretty much had just figured out my way in, and I got stopped by security, and was politely asked to leave. And I just never, after all these years, I've just never tried it again.
Yeah,
Um, I really should. But we've been on one of the first places that Jess and I went kind of as a group um, was Emeryville, and that was
Yeah, with the underground
we.
tunnels, right?
Yeah, well, that turned out to be a disaster. We ended up walking for what felt like ever, only to get down to the far end of the property, the power plant. And it was completely flooded, so we basically just had to turn around and went back. Um,
Jeez.
but yeah, no, that was a big campus as
That's
well.
where we learned you trust their graffiti. If it tells you don't go that way, don't go that way.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. The other problem about
Sometimes it's somebody
being
nice telling you, "Hey, don't waste your time."
The other problem about being down that far on the property, that's where state police we're actually on the corner edge of that property. So I don't remember who we're like, oh, well, I don't know where we are now at this point in relation to things. So I think it was who we were with. They poked their head up from the tunnels and like pretty much poked their head right up into the state police property. So we disappeared pretty quickly from there.
Yeah. What about Danvers? Have you ever been to Danvers?
No.
Yeah,
And
I dream of going to that.
probably the
Unfortunately, another place I didn't get to go to. But
probably one of the ones that I'm most angry that I didn't get to, only because it's literally in my backyard. I didn't get to Allentown State, and it's
right.
literally in my backyard. Um, we talked
Jeez.
a couple.
Drove past it like every day.
Yeah, I guess I just in my. We talked about it. We kind of formulated some plans. We just never really did it. They were watching that place like crazy for some reason, like crazy. Um,
Like more than Kings?
Yes, yes. They they ended up. I don't know where it finally kind of landed, but they ended up arresting this 16-year-old for stealing a doorknob.
Well,
They were just, for whatever reason, they were making a crazy example about that place. I don't know why. I don't know what the big to do was. Um, but next thing I know, um, they're starting demolition, and I mean they had that thing down in a couple of months, gone. Um,
right.
so we kind of missed that one, unfortunately. Um, and that's unfortunately the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. That's same goes for that pesticide plant in New Jersey. That's your starter entrance. I've always wanted to go there too, man.
Oh yeah, we were there last summer.
Right. Were you there when it was getting demoed?
We were there. They had just recently started clearing all the brush and trees out of the property.
Right.
So there's actually kind of a funny story to that. We got caught there.
Mhm.
We got caught there by a security guy, and we had played stupid dumb. And I know he didn't buy it, but we had basically told him that we were visiting the area, we were staying at a hotel locally, and that we were kind of hiking. There was like, if you remember, there was like all those woods kind of behind it. So we were
Right.
like, oh yeah, we were hiking back there, and we had gotten lost and ended up here, and we were trying to find our way back to the main road. So he's like, okay, well, here's what you need to do. Um, he's like, you just follow this road, and it's going to kind of take you around, and you go on. There was a sky bridge on that property, if you've ever seen. Um, and he's like, go under the bridge and you follow it around. Now I verified this with him. I'm like, are you sure? We go this way, we follow it around, and we'll come out to the road. He says yes. So we get to the end of go under the bridge, and we kind of follow it around, and there's no road. Like this does not take you back to the main road. So we turn around because I'm like, well, maybe he meant, because there was like I think there was like a right just before the bridge. I'm like, maybe he meant take this. And so this takes us back into some parking lots, and there he is again. And he's like, I thought I told you guys to get out of here. And we're like, we did. And it didn't feel like what you were saying, what I understood you to say was actually correct. So he's like, fine, just get in. I'll take you back to the car. What hotel did you say you were at? And I don't remember. It was like right there. And so at the time, I'm like, well, I look over at Jess and I'm like, should we do this? Is he literally going to take us back to the car, or are we about to go to jail? You know? So
Right.
we ended up getting in the car, and he took us back to the parking lot of the hotel. He was super cool. He's basically, um, you know, just don't come back here. We've had lots of
Well, and I
problems.
think he also was telling us about, like, he kicks.
She's breaking up with us.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what she was going to say. She'll come back eventually. But yeah. Anyway, that was that was really that experience, and it was definitely different. I really wasn't sure if we were going to get in trouble, or if he was actually going to take us to the car, or God only knows what else, because those things happen.
Right.
But that was cool. And
Was it worth it?
yeah, I mean it's a huge place. It's a huge place. Um, just massive.
Sure.
A lot of it was in pretty bad shape. I mean, there was a lot of, not so much vandalism there, um, just a lot of really kind of bad decay. Um, there were some areas that were just really awful, with mold and things like that. And I mean, that's the nature of this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she'll come back eventually. Um,
Yeah, that definitely was a place that I wanted to go. I mean, there's so many, dude. Mostly Byberry, Danvers, and the pesticide plant. But I mean, you got to let some go. You know.
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some in this game. Unfortunately, um, although I guess it's probably by now it's probably floated around quite a bit. I went to a very amazing place 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I made it out to North Brother Island,
Right.
which was all I can say is it was a great explore, um, but it's not for the amateur. It really isn't. Between the canoe ride out to the island.
Was
Um,
this is the jail, right?
yeah,
I watched a video of that guy who camps out there and goes to the school buildings and all that shit. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen. I actually haven't seen that
I'll
video,
have
but
to I'll have to send you it. It's pretty.
yeah.
Did you see it at
Um,
the school there?
yeah, so I think we were pretty much in everything, other than there's one there's one building kind of next to. Welcome back.
If I disappear again, I'm not trying.
You're not
I'm over.
trying. You're done. You're
Yep.
done today. That's
Yep.
it. Um,
Did you
um,
ever comment back to this person that commented, or you just ignore them?
no, I didn't really see that. That's one of the last things I still need to really kind of figure out, is how to do this and kind of work my laptop at the same time. I'm getting better at it, but not really great about it. Um, Exploring with Ben and Sam. I actually talked to those guys pretty recently. Um, we might be getting together when they get out this way. Um, but anyway, so there was one building kind of off to like in between the power plant and the like maintenance building
Yeah.
that the tree growth was just so bad around it that we just couldn't get to it. But outside of that, we were in the school, the tuberculosis hospital, what I believe to be either doctor housing or nursing housing. Um, we were in the power plant, which there really wasn't much left there.
Now,
That
did you do
unfortunately.
these explorations at night or day?
So we got in the canoe about 4:15 in the morning. Um, got across, got the canoe hidden off off the beach area,
Right.
and then just kind of hunkered down for till about 5:30, 6 o'clock till we started to get a little bit of daylight. Because apparently one of the big issues is that um, for whatever reason, when they left the island, um, they removed many of the manhole covers. So you can't obviously at this point you can't tell where any of the roads were. It's just completely covered. So
Right.
you really can't see where these giant holes in the ground are. So the who I went with, who had been there before, was basically like, we need a little bit of light. We just kind of have to hang tight till we get first daylight, so you can kind of see a little bit to move around. But then we were off the island by 11 in the morning and back across.
Well,
But yeah, it was definitely a cool trip.
how was
Uh,
the prison itself?
So there was only one spot on the island where you could actually see Rikers. It was back by the school building. Um, the and only really from the roof. So I was told by a couple of people like stay off the roofs there just because they can see them from Rikers. So we
Right.
moved quickly across that. It was the lower roof, but yeah, we moved quickly across that and got back off.
Well, that's definitely something I want to do. I mean, I'm not. I would say I'm kind of an amateur for now. I mean, like I got caught at the Phillipsburg thing. I kind of chilled out for a little bit. I'm back on my
Well,
game now. Um, but yeah, Phillipsburg was. I mean, I took that place for granted, man. I parked right up in that thing, and I
yep,
mean, see, because there used to be trucks, the overnight trucks and Bobcats. They would just chill out there, and there'd be abandoned cars and or what I would think to be abandoned. And then the one day I popped up in there, drove down, got there. I met up with Max, Bud, and all of them. Um, and yeah, I just parked right there, and I didn't even look around, and I didn't notice that there were no trucks or nothing. So I guess they
right,
really did crack down on them. Um, and yeah, Max stuck his head out and he said, "Yo, look!" And there was a car that looked it was far away, man. But it looked like kind of pointing at us, and I was like, all right, let me get a look. Max was a little bit it was a couple beers deep, um, but yeah, so I saw it and I was like, yeah, I mean, he kind of does like pointed at us, but I can't really tell. And he's like, I mean, I was like, fuck it, dude. I mean, car's right there. Let's just run in the car and get out. Little
right,
did we know, already got a picture of my plate, already fucking was on us. He was just waiting for us to take the bait. Um, but yeah, the dude is insane. Another explorer told me that they actually were like cornered, like the dude and his wife like came in and like cornered up and made him get on the ground and shit. And
wow,
I don't know. I mean that place is honestly It's hard to say if that place is worth it or not because that is definitely a cool ass explore. Um, but just be very, very, very careful. It's not as easy as the people on YouTube make it, or at least
Yeah. No, you always gotta be expecting the worst. So we got a question here. What has been the best and or worst place for photography when exploring, in your own personal opinion? Think everywhere has good spots, but some are just too far gone to get decent material. My opinion on that, and then I'll let you give your
Yeah,
opinion on it. I don't think there is a bad spot. Um,
that's
there are better.
exactly what I was. It's exactly what I was
There,
gonna say.
there's
Yeah,
better spots. One of the reasons I do this is to tell the story. Every place has a story, um, whether it's a good story, a bad story. Um, I mean, through some places, I mean, they're sad stories, but everywhere's got a story, and being able to tell that story, um, is definitely worth it. So I personally, I don't think there's a bad spot. Um, for for video content, a spot that has things still left makes for a better video. It draws attention, it keeps people interested. But regardless if there's something there or not, um, there's still a story to tell, and I want to tell that story.
right. I would say by far, obviously, we all know Linwood. That's got to be the best. Um, but I completely agree with you. I mean, the only bad places, I guess you could say, are to take pictures are those ones that are just dust. Those ones that there's barely anything left. There's no designs. Everything's ripped out the walls. I mean, you just need, but all you need is like a sink or a mirror, something
But
iconic, something
some of
with
those is more
design.
like if you can get some cool lighting.
Yeah,
Can make
like
even just some paint chips on the wall. If you get the great angle and lighting, it can still be a pretty decent picture.
yeah. But I mean, as a good photographer, um, you can be able to make anything. I mean, you can even bring your own objects and go to a bad spot and place your own objects up in there and take a picture of like a fucking fruit or something, and still make it look awesome.
Mhm.
But in terms of shooting for history, um, I mean, you just need that spot that hasn't been pummeled and hit with all the vandalism. And sometimes I like taking pictures of vandalism, like graffiti artists. I respect that very much,
It's
as
still
long as
art. It still takes some talent.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, we admire graffiti artists, but it's just about if something has history, like at Norristown, everybody was respectful, and there's not a lot of graffiti, if any graffiti, at that place. I mean, 17 was different, although most of the graffiti came right off the wall because so much asbestos and dust. But
Well, even I mean, if you're from this area and you haven't been to Pepper, are you even an explorer? But um, there's there was something about that. Like, yes, it was. I mean, at this point, it's in super bad shape. I don't think there's a spot anywhere that isn't graffitied, but there
yeah,
was something really mesmerizing about that place, and what kind of thinking about what was it like when it first opened, and my mind really wandered to what it must have been like to be on that ground level and look all the way up and be able to see all that. So that's the thing with it. Even though it was even though it's in terrible shape, there's still something there. There's still really a story there
oh
to it.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't even. I mean, that place still has its architecture up. It's not like it's fallen down. I mean, it's not in the worst
Mhm.
condition, but I definitely would say that that place is an um, expert. What am I saying? A great place for beginners and experts. anybody can take pictures there. You don't even need a goddamn camera. Obviously, you can take them with your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
But
I'm not gonna lie. I think the day we were there, they were shooting a music video out front.
Yes.
yeah.
I don't remember if it was the first time or the second time we went back to the other school. But yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't do them in the same day.
When I went there, I bumped into explorers and scared the shit out of me, but it turned out to be some really cool dudes.
I think the only time I've actually ever run into other explorers that it wasn't planned was Emeryville. There were a couple other people floating around there.
Really? Well, I plan to hit Penn Hills tomorrow, and I've heard that Penn Hills definitely a lot of explorers go there.
That's in bad. That's in bad shape. And
Oh yeah.
remind me. I didn't make it in that day, but I have exterior photos that are probably from about 2014, and I'll show you the difference between then and now.
Really? Yeah, I mean, as long as I get that signed picture, and also that one Egyptian themed kind of knockoff. It's
Oh
behind
yeah,
a recovery center. I'm gonna try to hit that too.
yeah. No, I saw that was kind of blew up a couple months ago, but I never really dug into where it wasn't at a
I think
restaurant or
that's gonna
something.
be definitely a hard one for me because I mean there's a literal drug recovery center, like they can see that whole place. So I mean, I might just knock into a room, see that little what do they call them? The glass shower, the glass baths. I forget. The champagne glass bath. Um, and the heart shaped tubs. Might just
Oh yeah,
get a
yep,
couple
yep,
pics of them and then just dick it and run.
yeah.
But I'm excited, man. I've always wanted a Poconos trip. Um,
There's
always. I mean,
still
I'm not going to be able to.
there's still a lot up there.
Yeah.
I'd like to spend some time up there. I want to spend some time in the Catskills
Yeah, for sure.
and really head up there.
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
But no,
What about your any ambitions for your future explorers?
there's so much, and it's really finding the time for it. I would I'd love to like get out of the area,
Right.
travel down south a little bit. Um, Not even so much. Yes, I mean, would I absolutely love to do Six Flags, New Orleans? Absolutely.
Yeah, that
Um,
place is kind of hard, man. So.
well, there's that, but there's other things down that way, and there's things kind of up and down. Um, I've been told by several people heading out west is completely different. Um, there's a lot more just natural decay out west as opposed to the vandalism that we see here in the east.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's still some. It's not, but like more in the Midwest. Those places they only grow fucking corn and shit.
right, right,
Nobody's got time to fiddle around with rattle cans. But
right.
I've also heard there's Max told me that there's a casino somewhere in OC. I definitely want to head out there. I want
Nice.
to.
I kind of wanted to, only because I thought it'd be like really funny, but I'm sure because of everything that went on, they were probably watching that like crazy. But I would have loved to have gotten into Trump's casino in Atlantic City before they demoed it, just because
Right.
I thought that would be funny. But
I didn't even know
consider,
that was abandoned.
oh, it's abandoned and no longer um, no longer even standing.
Right, right, right.
They ironically they tore it down like 4 days after Biden's inauguration.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gone.
Well, is there any YouTube videos? I'd like to see that actually.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Um,
I'll check it out.
I'm
What
sure
is
there
what's
is.
at the top of your bucket list to be able to get to?
What's the top of mine?
Yeah.
Dude, that's hard to say. I have so much pins on my map. I want to hit Crescent. Um, you
Crescent
know,
was cool. Um,
yeah, I definitely want to hit Crescent. I mean, do you think they mind if I, like, I mean, I'll pay them, but like half the time they're not even open. You know what I mean? Like when you can actually get in there.
yeah, I don't.
I'd love to
So
pay them. It's just like I literally they only host like flash events, and sorry, but I do not live that close to it. It's kind of hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's so we were out there. I was out there once first, and then Jess and I went out. We kind of started grabbing some things. We were actually going to do a documentary on it. Um,
Right.
and I have footage and I have some stuff, but it's sometimes it's just it's hard to make all that work and find the time for it because
Yeah.
we were trying to meet, we were trying to get a hold of some, some ex-employees. We were even trying to find some people. I guess apparently there's no one still alive um, that was in the hospital, but apparently there's still family members that are alive, and we were trying to reach out
Yeah.
to them.
Remember
And
visiting them and taking care of them.
right,
The same thing with what the hell, Spyberry. Byberry. I actually have family members that you know visited people at Byberry and such. That's definitely I want to hit that in the next month or two, and then what was for a long time the abandoned PA Turnpike, um, the Turnpike Highway, and I finally got to see that. That was definitely a cool place.
yeah.
Uh,
So I was out there many years ago. I actually went with a friend, and we actually biked it. Not really an urban exploring thing. We actually just went out
right.
to bike it. I'd like to get out again and actually shoot footage for the channel for it. Um, I think it would also be a super cool place to really put a drone up and really spend some time doing some different stuff because I
Oh yeah.
hardly ever put the drone up anymore.
Mm.
Yeah. I want that's something I really want to do is get a drone. I gotta find one on like Craigslist or something.
Well, and I think that's the big reason that I don't put it up a whole lot is the fact that it was an exorbitant amount of money, and I'd
Yeah.
prefer not to crash like $1,500 into a tree. So I just don't. I don't use it. I really do need to because, I mean, at this point, it's now just like a $1,500 paperweight. So I
You
really
carry it
should.
around and- for no apparent reason.
I just need to like. I really need to take it out somewhere and just kind of get over the fear of flying it and actually use it.
Hmm.
Right.
And that's really the problem. Um, that I'm just more afraid of something happening to it. I did put it up. That I can't believe I actually did that. I did put it up. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head right now. There's the abandoned is it Navy
Yeah,
complex?
yeah, yeah. The missile, the Beaumark missile.
No, no, not. I know what you're talking about. No, not that. The housing project down
Oh, in Shenandoah.
yeah, Shenandoah Woods. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
actually about 30 minutes from me. I've hit that spot many times.
so I was in there, I did it, I shot it, I got back out, and I'm like, let me toss the drone up. I can't believe I actually did it because I actually was flying the drone and I couldn't see it anymore. I'm like, this is going to end terrible for me. I'm going to
No,
lose
I
this
was
thing.
surprised you put it up over the water out in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that. I also put it out over the water at Graffiti Pier.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I just did this. But no, I do need to really start using it. The problem is a lot of times too, I get like, so I really want, I would have loved to have put it out at North Brother Island. Two problems are: one, I don't even think you can put it up because you're so close to LaGuardia, and then two, I'm sure Rikers would have seen that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you got a expensive enough one, you could fly it high enough or fly it close enough with without the canoe, you know.
But yeah, so I ended up not putting it up that day just because I thought that was going to be crazy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I need to get better with it. Anyway,
And speaking.
yes, and speaking, it's been a very long day and a very long 2 weeks. So,
Yeah.
But
all right, guys. Well,
we appreciate it.
Starting
About to die.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug? Definitely let us know. You know, here's your shot.
Yeah.
You just have the Instagram, or do you have anything else?
I mostly do Instagram, and I haven't been on there a lot. I have to get on my Instagram game, but I mean, I'm still exploring it all. I plan to start posting more stuff very soon. Maybe tomorrow when I go to Penn
There you
Hills.
go.
I might get some Penn Hills content that'll be worthy enough, in my opinion.
There you go.
All right. Well, it was.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and I appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah, no, thanks for doing it with us. If we can help at all, definitely let us know.
Yeah, we'll definitely link up before I head out to Pittsburgh, and you know, possibly if you're ever in Pittsburgh, I want to do Century 3, man. I'm gonna get, trust me, mark my word, I'm gonna get into Century 3.
So it wouldn't be the first time I've driven out to Pittsburgh. So just keep that in mind. I will do it again.
Yes.
I am crazy enough to do it.
All right, sounds good. All right,
man. Take it easy. Thanks again, and
thank you.
We'll talk soon.
All right.
Sounds good, man. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye now.